Welcome to today's Blueprint News, where we bring you the latest and most in-depth political insights. In this video, we break down the CBC poll tracker as of February 27, 2025, covering the national trends and key battlegrounds across Canada, with the Conservatives leading nationally, but the Liberals holding strong in key regions. The race is heating up. How are the NDP, Bloc Québécois, Greens, and PPC faring? And what do these numbers mean for the upcoming election? Let's dive into the latest polling data and uncover the trends shaping Canada's political future. National overview. At the national level, the Conservative Party continues to hold a commanding lead, securing 40.2% of voter support. This represents a strong position for the opposition party, suggesting that it has successfully consolidated its base and expanded its appeal among undecided voters. Their lead over the governing Liberal Party, which currently polls at 30.8%, underscores growing public dissatisfaction with the incumbent government. However, with a considerable portion of the electorate still aligned with the Liberals, the race remains competitive, especially in key battleground provinces. New Democratic Party, NDP, 14.4%. The NDP's 14.4% support is noteworthy, as it positions them as potential kingmakers in a closely contested election. Their influence will be particularly critical in three-way races across urban centers such as Toronto, Vancouver, and Edmonton, where progressive voters may be split between the Liberals and the NDP. Bloc Québécois, BQ, 6.9%. The Bloc Québécois, BQ, continues to maintain a regional stronghold in Quebec, where their 6.9% national share translates into significant local influence. The party's ability to retain its Quebec-centric support will be a determining factor in shaping the province's overall seat distribution, potentially complicating the path to victory for both the Conservatives and the Liberals. Green Party, GPC, 4%. The Green Party, currently polling at 4%, remains a minor player in the national race. While their presence is unlikely to shift the overall balance of power, their support could still affect tight races in British Columbia and Atlantic Canada, where environmental concerns resonate strongly with certain voter blocs. People's Party of Canada, PPC, 2.8%. The People's Party of Canada, PPC, continues to struggle with mainstream traction, polling at just 2.8%. While they may pull some right-leaning voters away from the Conservatives, their impact on the broader election remains limited. Other parties, 0.9%, smaller parties, and independent candidates collectively hold 0.9% of the national vote share, reflecting minimal but potentially decisive influence in select ridings. Regional breakdown. Let's break down the latest polling averages from British Columbia. The numbers reveal an interesting political battle in the province. The Conservatives are currently leading with 41.3% support, holding a strong position but not an unshakable lead. The Liberals are in second place at 29.6%, making British Columbia one of their more competitive battlegrounds. The New Democrats follow with 20.4%, showing a solid base but falling behind their 2021 and 2019 performances. The Green Party holds 6.3%, maintaining a modest presence in a province where they've historically had pockets of strength. The People's Party of Canada is at 1.6%, and all other parties combined make up 0.7% of the vote. With a Conservative lead but a competitive Liberal presence, British Columbia remains a key province to watch in the 2025 election. Will these numbers hold, or are we in for a surprise shift? Let's take a look at the latest polling averages from Alberta. The numbers show a clear front-runner, but is there room for change? The Conservatives maintain a dominant lead in Alberta, with 57.3% support. This stronghold remains unshaken as they continue to capture the majority of voters in the province. Far behind, the Liberals sit at 19.2%, struggling to gain ground in this traditionally conservative region. The New Democrats follow closely with 17.1%, maintaining their presence but not posing a serious challenge to the front-runners. The Green Party holds a minor 1.8%, while the People's Party of Canada has 3.3%, showing limited but notable right-wing support. All other parties combined make up just 1.3% of the vote, leaving little room for smaller movements to make an impact. With the Conservatives in a commanding position, Alberta looks set to remain a Tory stronghold in the 2025 election. Let's take a look at the latest polling averages from Saskatchewan and Manitoba. The numbers tell a familiar story, but are there signs of a shift? The Conservatives hold a strong lead across Saskatchewan and Manitoba, securing 50.3% of voter support. While dominant, this number suggests a slight dip compared to past elections. The Liberals are in second place with 23.9%, showing some strength but still far from posing a real challenge to the Conservatives. The New Democrats hold 18.4%, maintaining a solid base, especially in urban centers like Winnipeg and Regina, but struggling to break beyond their traditional support. The Green Party sits at 3.8%, holding a small but consistent presence, while the People's Party of Canada has 2.6%, showing some appeal on the right, but not enough to make a major impact. All other parties combined make up just 1% of the vote, leaving little room for unexpected shifts. With the Conservatives leading the pack, Saskatchewan and Manitoba continue to lean right. But will the Liberals and NDP be able to close the gap as election day approaches? The latest polling averages from Ontario. With Canada's most populous province up for grabs, the numbers reveal a competitive race that could shape the upcoming election. The Conservatives lead in Ontario with 42.9% support, giving them a strong position in the province. However, this is far from a landslide, leaving room for their rivals to make gains. The Liberals are in second place at 33.9%, keeping the race competitive. Ontario has historically been a battleground province, and this election looks to be no different. The New Democrats are further behind at 14.3%, struggling to make a major impact in the race, but still holding on to key urban centers. The Green Party has 4.8%, maintaining a small but dedicated voter base, while the People's Party of Canada sits at 3.1%, holding on to a portion of the right-wing vote. All other parties combined make up just 1%, indicating little influence from smaller movements. With the Conservatives leading, but the Liberals staying competitive, Ontario remains a province to watch. Could a late campaign surge shift the balance? The latest polling averages from Quebec. The numbers show a tight race between the Liberals and the Bloc Québécois, with other parties trailing behind. The Liberals lead in Quebec with 31.8% support, maintaining their position as the province's top federalist party. But right behind them, the Bloc Québécois is at 29.5%, making this a highly competitive race. With Quebec's nationalist vote in play, the Bloc remains a serious contender. The Conservatives are in third place at 24.5%, a respectable showing, but still far behind the frontrunners. While they've made gains in parts of Quebec, they have a tough road ahead. The New Democrats hold just 8%, struggling to regain the influence they once had in the province. The Green Party sits at 3%, while the People's Party of Canada has 2.1%, with other parties combined at 1.1%. Showing little room for smaller movements to make an impact. With the Liberals and Bloc Québécois in a close fight, Quebec remains a key battleground in the 2025 election. Will the Bloc pull ahead, or can the Liberals hold their lead? Let's take a look at the latest polling averages from Atlantic Canada. This region has historically been a Liberal stronghold, but is the race tightening? The Liberals hold the lead with 42.5%, keeping their dominance in the region, though their numbers suggest a closer race than in past elections. The Conservatives are not far behind at 35.2%, showing significant gains and putting real pressure on the Liberals. Could we see a shift in power? The New Democrats are at 14.7%, maintaining a steady presence but struggling to compete with the two leading parties. The Green Party holds 4.1%, while the People's Party of Canada sits at 2.8%, with other parties combined at 0.8%, showing minimal movement outside the main contenders. With the Liberals leading, but the Conservatives gaining ground, Atlantic Canada could be in for an interesting fight in 2025. Will the region stay red, or are we witnessing a blue wave? That wraps up our analysis of the latest CBC poll tracker. As we inch closer to the next election, the political landscape is constantly evolving. Will the Conservatives maintain their lead, or can the Liberals stage a comeback? Can the NDP gain momentum, or will regional shifts redefine the race? One thing is certain: every vote and every poll matters. Stay tuned to today's Blueprint News for continuous updates and expert analysis on Canada's political scene. If you found this breakdown insightful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay ahead of the game. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Who do you think will come out on top? See you in the next update.